Hello and welcome to another episode of Clone Wars Conversations. I'm your host, James Arnold Taylor, aka Obi-Wan Kenobi. So many fantastic stories were covered in the 129 episodes of the Clone Wars, and so many were about characters that, while technically didn't have actual hearts, they showed us what it meant to have true compassion and understanding. Droids in particular, and today's guest brought to life more than just one little droid with heart, but two. WAC 47 and AZ3 both showed us that a droid is for more than just holding secret intel or unlocking enemy systems. AZ3 had a friend in fives, and WAC 47, while a bit clumsy, helped save the day to the chagrin of Colonel Meeber Gascon. However, to show the versatility of this actor, he also took us for an action-packed ride as Chrismo Sodi, fighting some very famous bounty hunters and even helped change the heart of an ex-Sith apprentice this Jedi knows all too well. And even still, he slithered into the picture as Morley in Season 4, Episode 21, entitled Brothers, which brought about the unlikely return of a very famous villain in the Star Wars universe. I need not say who, do I? Yes, this one versatile yet unassuming performer was in 10 episodes of Clone Wars and always surprised us and really made it look easy. Join me now as I sit down with voice actor Ben Diskin. Welcome to the conversation. So Ben Diskin,
hi.
Here we are.
Yeah.
In the Clone Wars Conversation hot seat to talk about Clone. You did quite a few episodes. Mm-hmm. For somebody that was not a regular on the show or even recurring, because what you did was you always played different characters.
Yeah.
When you came back. But also very unique to you is you had a 4-part arc with some of these characters.
Correct. Yes.
And then you had other ones that were arcs as well. How was it playing on Clone Wars? Just a general kind of thing.
Oh, this was just a really neat experience for me because, I didn't grow up with Star Wars. Technically, it was like just slightly before I was born. It was in the 70s. I was the 80s.
Yeah.
But it's one of those shows that just seems to endure. Yeah. It started off as just a movie franchise and it expanded into this ridiculously huge universe.
I know.
So just getting to be a part of that in general, it feels like being a part of like film history almost.
I know, it's kind of humbling and mind-blowing to go, wow, I got to play in this for any length. That's how I always feel.
Yeah.
And you were just great because it was through, so let me see, in my notes, you were in 10 episodes. You were in Bounty, Brothers, Secret Weapons, A Sunny Day in the Void, mm-hmm. Missing in Action, and Point of No Return. Now, Secret Weapons, A Sunny Day in the Void, Missing in Action, and Point of No Return were that 4-part arc with WAC 47.
Yes.
Crystal Crisis and Death on Utapau are 2 episodes that never aired. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
General Blom, was that?
Oh, that's that.
Governor Blom.
Yes.
You were Governor Blom.
I was, yes.
On Crystal Crisis and Death on Utapau. Mm-hmm. Those we recorded.
Yeah.
And they...
Did they actually get animated? Or
they got animated to a degree, and some of these things are viewable online, StarWars.com. They've been cool to release these things, different parts. Death on Utapau has been like just the animatic versions. But I'm sorry, yes, Conspiracy and Fugitive were where you played AZ3.
Yes. Okay. Not the pit droid, the health droid. I guess the nurse.
You play a lot of droids.
I do.
And we've worked together for years on various shows. And you've played droids and computer voices and robots.
Yeah.
Why do you suppose?
I don't know. That's a good question. I guess I just have no soul, is really what it is. I'm a robot at heart, and so they just think, yeah.
Well, here's what it is. Now, see, I, as a voice actor that listens to other people's voices and tunes in, you have a wonderful mid-range that cuts through, and that's important. You're like,
I don't know what any of that means, but thank you. I'm assuming that's a compliment.
No, see, where your voice sits, it can cut through things, and
like
it makes
fart.
Sense.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like a fart.
This is the worst interview already.
Wow.
We're only on episode 3, people.
Welcome to the conversation.
This is where the ratings just tanked.
No, your voice has this kind of this space. So like, a robot voice would be in here. Like other people, it doesn't work as a robot, but you can do that. Ooh. You also have quite a range. You've been all over the place. Yeah. But so working in that 4-part arc where you were playing WAC 47.
Yeah.
What a name, too. WAC 47, WAC 47. You worked a lot with Stephen Stanton then. He was playing...
Meeber Gascon, I believe.
Yeah, you do, and you'll clean it up.
And I still don't know if it's like Colonel or Corporal, because like that was the joke, and I still don't know which
Colonel.
one. He's actually a Colonel, but I call him Corporal.
You called him Corporal, very good. Much to his chagrin.
Yes.
Yeah, that was awesome stuff, because at first you look at this character and you go, oh, it's going to be this kind of bumbling, almost Jar Jar-like kind of thing. And George Lucas has a great way of creating these characters that you think are going to be that, and then you realize, because I'm somebody that really still is an advocate for Jar Jar Binks.
Really?
I don't think he's as bad as everybody thinks. I think he's pretty great, because C-3PO was Jar Jar Binks, if you think about it.
That's true.
Originally.
Yeah.
And WAC 47 is kind of the 3PO Jar Jar combination in this 4-part arc. Was it fun?
Yeah.
Be a goof?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I like the fact that he is a robot, but he has his own personality. Well, they all do, really. Because even though they're all like bleeps and bloops in the droid team, like they all feel like unique characters with like their own like personalities.
So that was the other thing. Most of your, you were doing like most of the talking, and everybody else outside of Steven doing Colonel.
Yeah.
And D. Bradley Baker had a great cameo in there too. You were talking to droids that were just beeping at you.
Yeah.
So your script consisted of your lines and then R2 responds or whatever, right?
Right.
Do you remember much working with like your first episode of Clone Wars compared to the last? Did it feel like I'm kind of part of this crew now, or?
A little bit. Like, well, I mean, I'd been auditioning for the show for like a while, and I'd never really gotten anything. And originally, I think I tried out for Anakin, like back when it was first being cast. Yeah. And Chrismo Sodi was the first guy I did.
Right.
And that was just my natural speaking voice.
Yep.
And when I was there, sometimes we record this stuff ensemble, but other times it's like partial ensemble, as you know. There's like 2 people there, and that's about it. And so while I was there, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna like read in for like the other characters that are there, and I'm just gonna like do other voices and see if Dave is like cool with that. And like just test the water. And so that's how I wound up being the villain in the same like story.
I was gonna say, yeah, you did play Otua Blank.
Blank or Blanc? It's one of the two.
Yeah, let's say Blanc.
Let's say Blanc, yes.
I think
Fancy
Otua
it.
Would say Blanc.
Yeah, sure.
Do you remember his voice at all? Do you remember?
I feel like it was something like this. It was some weird, like
very jowly.
Yeah, because he was like a creepy, like kidnapper / slaver. Yeah, I think he was a slaver.
He was kidnapping Chrismo's sister.
Yeah.
Which was really just awful.
Oh yeah.
To take as his bride.
Do you know the story about George Lucas and oh boy, drawing a total blank on the character's name. Super popular. Wears a helmet, jetpack.
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. There we go. Thank you.
That's all right.
I don't know why that one. Why was that one hard? You're gonna get notes on this. That's all the comments. He didn't remember Boba Fett. What a dork. So Boba was going to be in this. He's like taken prisoner, and the original note from George Lucas, I hope I can say this, was they were going to put him in a dress. And Dave Filoni actually had to like talk him out of that and be like, listen, this character's really popular. And I get where you're going with this, is because he's in this state where he's like weak, he's young, he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah,
right.
Daniel Logan was voicing him.
But he's like, let's not do that though. People will get a lot of angry letters if like we put him in a silly dress. So like let's not have that.
At the end when Otua Blanc sees him, I see.
That's how it was supposed to be.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that was.
Wow.
That shows you just how trusted, though, that Dave was on that show, when he can actually just sit down and talk with George Lucas one-on-one and go, yo.
Talk him off the ledge.
Yeah, and it's like, man.
I learned something here.
Hey, we all learned something new on this show.
That's right. Now, did Dave share that with you?
I believe he shared that with us, yeah, like when we were actually recording that episode. Because, like, Dave is, as you know, a fountain of Star Wars knowledge and trivia, the likes of which I have never seen.
I always say that you could have had a camera on just him giving the explanations and everything. That in itself was a whole entertainment process for all of us as the actors.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, like there was no stupid question. You could be like, yeah, what's my character's favorite color? And he'd be like, teal. You want to know the backstory of why? You see, when he was a baby, his mother wore a teal sash, and you're just like, I was joking. He's like, yeah, I know. Screw you. Here's the answer anyway, because I actually know that. And it's like, dang, wow.
Oh, that is funny. Okay, so now, hey, speaking of fun facts, AZ3. You
Yes.
know? Now, AZ3, those are great stories between him and Fives. Fives is, of course, the clone that does not want to be, under the microscope and everything. He's trying to save his buddy. And AZ3 is the droid that is actually kind of helping him through kind of a friendship that wasn't supposed to be becomes.
Yeah.
But do you know specifically, do you remember AZ's full name?
Oh, geez. His full name.
Yeah.
He had a full name?
Yes.
Asmodeus?
No.
Darn, okay.
AZ 345-211-896246498721-347. However, you did it like AZ and just boom.
I couldn't do it to this day.
No.
I think we did one take and it was like, all right.
It was probably one of those things too, like, I don't know if you get like this, where sometimes when you cold read something, meaning the first time you've ever read it, you can just do that.
Yeah.
It just flows. And then you try to do it again.
And it's just a nightmare. Yeah,
But
you'll
no,
never get it again.
You have a wonderful thing where, you're going 5, your number is 5, and you go back and forth. He's like, no, I'm 5's. He's trying to explain to you
That's
like his
right.
nickname and stuff. And you're like, we all have names. We're all numbers.
Right.
And you go, my full name, and then you do the AZ 345-211-896246498721-347. I almost did it.
That was very close.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. That was a fun little moment. Also, though, working with D. Bradley Baker.
Yeah.
You've known Dee forever. You guys worked on Codename Kids Next Door together and all of that. But were you in the studio together for?
Oh, I probably. I know I was there for something where he was recording the clones. So I'm going to say yes. It's probably that arc for sure for when he was 5s. As I remember him playing multiple characters, and I'm watching and I'm just going like, wow. It's really neat because it's the same voice.
Yeah.
But they always feel like different characters.
He managed to take each one and give them their own personality while keeping the same voice, which is an incredibly hard thing to do as a voice actor or as an actor in general. But in Secret Weapons, Dee voiced, I think it's Dr. Gubacher.
Yes, the guy who's like doing all the experiments on us, like giving us our weapons and stuff.
And I don't know if you know who he's doing there.
I just know he's doing like his German guy thing. That's all I know it as.
And I'm certain, because I know that Dee is as much of a geek as I am, I'm certain, and I know that Dave is as much of a geek as I am, that it was an impression of Ronald Lacey from Raiders of the Lost Ark, who played Tot. We are not thirsty.
That makes more sense.
Don't you tell me where. And he's got the hot poker in her face and everything, and he's the one that gets the headpiece to the Staff of Ra.
Oh, okay.
Melted into his hand.
Yeah.
So Ronald Lacey was the actor, and he's doing this whole kind of character. It's just, it's great. So, anyways, fun. That's just a nerd voiceover fun fact for me. But then, Chrismo Sodi, again, that was the first episode you did. That episode is so much action. I'm sure you've seen it. I don't know if you've seen it at all recently, but I, of course, watched it for studying up.
Oh, you did more research than me.
Oh, of course, yes. Well, always. And that whole episode is just action, action, action. And then you and Nika Futterman having a battle. She's Ventress, of course. Were you in the studio with Nika?
Yes.
You have any memories of working with her in that?
All I remember is that she was really good at being a bad you-know-what.
See, I have a special connection with Ventress as well as Obi-Wan Kenobi. And the one thing that Nika always did for me whenever we had scenes was she made me a better actor, in that she just was so naturally in whatever character she was doing, but especially Ventress. She would just do that whole, Kenobi, And in that particular episode, it was great because at first you guys are enemies, and then you start working together.
Yeah.
And she sees in your sister. Did you know that Chrismo and his sister, they were originally going to be lovers, not related.
Okay.
And then they decided, no, let's make them actually siblings instead. So it was, and I think that worked better for him being the bigger brother, kind of looking after his little sister and trying to protect her, as opposed to him protecting a girlfriend or a wife or a fiance or whatever it would be.
It feels a little bit stronger, a little bit more like, hey, we've known each other since we were yay high.
Yeah, and the other would be almost too emotional and get into, so I think they made a really great choice in changing that. But here's another fun fact that I bet you did not know.
I bet you're right.
About your own character. that Chrismo has something in connection with my character, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Your character's also a space ninja. No way.
What kind of?
Well,
no.
yeah, Jedi. Yeah.
His design was actually based on conceptual artwork from Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, the prequel film, by Ian McCaig. And it was Obi-Wan's first designs.
Really?
That they took those, some of these first ones by Ian McCaig that were designs of what they were thinking Obi-Wan would look like in The Phantom Menace, and they used them to help put the design together for Chrismo.
Interesting.
So we have some, including a little ponytail and all of that stuff. So we have a little connection, my
That's
friend.
really cool.
Yeah, even though we rarely were in the studio, I do remember recording with you, and I think it goes to the spot that we will talk about, of course, next year, and that would be Morley.
Okay.
So how did Morley come about? Was that another audition, or was that Dave going, let's bring Ben in?
Yeah, that one, I'm pretty sure I auditioned for pretty much every character, but at that point, thanks to the first episode, I was kind of a little bit more on their radar, so they were a little more familiar with what I could do in my vocal range. And that one, I was just kind of thinking, like, what would James Hong do, I guess?
Really?
Yeah. Because I was recording, and I was like, you know, this guy's supposed to be a snake, and for some reason, and I don't know why, I always associate Mr. Ping from, like, the Kung Fu Panda movies as having kind of a snake-like voice, even though he's actually really friendly, but it's that vocal fry thing.
And there's that part of your voice I was talking about, that mid-range that cuts through. See?
Yeah, there we go.
I can't do that.
I don't know about that, but so it was just like I just wanted to be like a creepy snake guy, and they were like, yeah, we like it. Come on in and do that.
And you know what's funny is, I know you mentioned Kung Fu Panda, but it's really also like his performance in Blade Runner.
Oh yeah.
Your eyes. I made your eyes.
Yeah.
You know?
That like.
And did you know then the link here is that you worked with him in A Death on Utapau then, because he was in that episode.
A Death?
So
really?
We weren't all in the studio together.
No
but
way.
I was in the studio with Matt and Mr. Hong, James Hong.
Okay.
But you were in those episodes. So
funny.
Look at that.
Well, dang,
the circle
everything
is now
connected.
complete.
Yeah, we just got to bring Kevin Bacon into this, and somehow.
But so. He also has a bit of Gollum to him, right? Would you say that?
A little bit. I would say so, yeah. Well, he definitely has that that menacing, like, I'm the voice whispering in your ear kind of thing.
He's a jerk.
Yeah, he's a jerk. Best description.
Because he's actually manipulating Darth Maul. Who's an even bigger jerk.
Yeah, and Savage, his brother. So he gets them both.
So you were working with Clancy then in the studio? Did you work with him?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And any particular memories of that? Did that fry your voice or anything? Was that?
Oh, it's vocally stressful. You mean?
Yeah.
No. That's easy.
Yeah.
That's almost a relaxing kind of voice to do.
It?
Just being weird and strange.
It was that too. It was very sing-songy. Do you hear it in your head as music or anything? Are you a musician at all?
I played clarinet when I was 12. That's as close as I get. I'm a horrible singer, so I'm not going to say anything about that. So I can't say I'm a musician, but I do have like a little bit of that.
You found music in it though.
Well, I think so.
Because he went all over the place. Did you do that intentionally? Was that you, or was that Dave saying, have fun with it, or go up and down? Or?
That was mostly me.
Okay.
Just because whenever I think of a character like that, I can't help but them like trying to like worm their way into somebody's ear, and so I like the idea of like the waveform also looking kind of like a snake and a worm, so it's like squirming in there, that kind of thing.
Ooh, we'll have to look and see what Morley's waveforms look like.
Oh.
Yeah, that's very cool. And he I think that we could have seen more of Morley were he not such a jerk.
Yeah, if he weren't so much of a...
Did he get his just due in your mind, though, or would you have liked a spin-off?
No, a spin-off, yeah. Just Morley and Whack in the middle of a desert hanging out.
That's right.
Yeah, that was going to be the last season. They just said, let's cancel it. No, I would have liked to see more of him. He was fun.
More Morley.
More Morley.
Yeah, I think he's one of those characters that people stuck with and kind of went, wow, that's an interesting, annoying kind of guy.
Yeah, I play a lot of annoying guys, I noticed.
No.
I really do, yeah.
Well, let's talk about your career, though, as a voice actor. You started as a child actor. Mm-hmm. How old were you when you first started acting?
I was, if we want to get really technical, I was an actor before I was born.
Really?
So my parents are both actors.
Okay.
And the agent that they were with at the time spoke to my mom while she was still pregnant and said, "Hey, can we represent your kid?" And they said, "Sure." And so they signed a contract. So I had an agent before I was born.
Oh my word.
So I've been doing this literally my whole life. But I guess first job, McDonald's commercial when I was like 1.5.
Do you have copies of these?
I actually do.
Oh, that's
They
so
will
bad.
never be released.
No.
I've like sworn my mom to secrecy. I'll put this on DVD, but that's it. But yeah, no, it's all old videos and stuff like that from the 80s. But I guess first voiceover stuff, I was like 6. I was doing like commercials and for radio and stuff like that, and it just kind of went from there. It just sort of built up.
And then Problem Child?
Oh yeah, that had an animated series in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, the 90s.
90s, yeah.
And it was that was like my very first cartoon show where I actually like got to be an animated character as opposed to just radio commercials and stuff
Really?
like that.
And did you take to voiceover? Did you just kind of go, I get this is what I want to do? Or was it just
Oh
like...
no, I was horrible.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, it was terrible. I was a kid. I was a dumb little kid. So like I drove. Ginny McSwain was the director of that, and I drove her bonkers. Like I didn't realize it, but like my parents have stories of like her wanting to rip her hair out.
Really?
Because I was terrible. I was a 10-year-old kid and I didn't know anything about how to properly like act. So we would like rehearse it over and over and over again at home, and I'd come in and then I'd forget it all and suck. But eventually, you do something long enough, you stop being terrible at it and you become at least average. And so I feel like I've really hit that stride of like, I don't suck, but,
Oh, come on, man. You surprise me because, again, you're just this very good-natured person. And you go, hey, how's it going? You're always friendly and all this. And then you come in and come up with these voices. Like, we worked on Spectacular Spider-Man together.
Oh, yeah.
And you were Eddie Brock, Venom.
Yes.
And Eddie Brock, okay.
Yeah, that's me.
But then Venom was this just startling. The first time I heard you do that, I thought, I didn't know Ben had this in him.
You want to talk vocally stressful?
Yeah, don't do it. You can Google that and we'll show you. But
oh boy.
yeah, that was just a throat ripper.
Yeah,
right?
the whole thing. We had an episode in season 2 of that show, and we had to do like the entire 4-hour session. It was just me because it was like we had a lot of dialogue, and it had to be the Eddie Brock voice, and then the Venom voice on top of that, and then a secondary Venom voice on top of that, because at a certain point his stomach opens and has a second mouth on it, so they needed like 3 different tracks going at the same time, and it took like the whole 4. And by the end of it, I was so messed up for a week. I had a callback on fish hooks back when that, and I showed up there and like, hey guys, I'm here to audition, and they were like, no, you need to go home. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm like I'm sorry too. They're like,
Isn't
okay.
that the worst?
It always happened, but like, it was worth it though because it came out really cool. So I'm proud of ultimately the final product.
Well, you know that Stan Lee says that the best version of Spider-Man that he's ever seen was Spectacular Spider-Man. Yeah. Yeah. So if the man says it,
Yeah.
let it be written.
Dang right.
So. But then going back even farther, codename Kids Next Door.
Yes.
Another throat ripper.
Yeah, we called that one Blood Throat. To be fair, Tom Warburton, the creator of that, he's gotten a lot nicer about that sort of stuff. He's like,
and a
I don't
funny,
need to do
fun
that.
guy.
Oh,
and
yeah.
a great guy and a great imagination and always remembered love. He was always on the phone patch, right? But and that was recorded at Cartoon Network.
Yes.
The good old days at Cartoon Network. We were all in there. You were number one, number one,
yes.
and number 2.
Correct. Yeah.
Can you give us just a touch of them?
Oh, sure, yeah. Number 1, let me see. Number 1 was my voice when I was about 19, so it didn't have as much wear on it, and it was a little bit higher, and it was just me with a really terrible British accent.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Because unfortunately, I never really learned how to do it properly, and so therefore, and I still to this day am horrible with accents. So, but I just fudge my way through it, and since we all have American creators, they don't really know. So
That's right.
They're not from like I go to like JB Blanc and I do this, and he's just like, you're horrible. That's no, it's not passenger, it's passenger. That's not how we say it. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. So, like, that was that. And then number 2 was just me doing like a helium voice, which has served me very well. I keep finding, it's basically whack.
Yeah.
It was just here. It was just number 2 was just up here, and it was just me talking like this.
That's right.
It was the whole thing.
That's like me for Johnny Test.
Yeah.
Which was just me on it. So if you and I are just, we should do the whole interview like this.
Perfect.
Wouldn't this be great?
Yeah, this won't annoy the heck out of
annoying, wouldn't
anybody.
it? No. So tell me about Clone Wars. Oh boy, people are like,
And the comments, all those thumbs down.
Credits, yes. Sorry, guys. I didn't know this. You were on Hey Arnold.
Yes, yeah.
It's one of my favorite cartoons.
No way, really?
I love Hey Arnold.
Oh, thanks, man.
I've introduced my daughter to Hey Arnold, and we watch it all the time. But as an adult, I watched Hey Arnold.
It was a well-written show. That was actually like a legitimately good show.
You were Eugene.
I was the third Eugene.
We
had 4 because it was real kids, so the voice change, hire somebody new, is that kind of thing. And I was like on the short list. The funny thing is, the second Eugene on that was also the guy who played my best friend in a live-action movie that I did for Disney Channel.
Really?
So it was like weird. It was like, oh, I'm replacing Jarrett. What? Okay. But yeah, that was a trip. It was just because it was all kids.
Yeah.
And as kids, we're not the best behaved. We're not the most professional.
No.
Shocking. I know. Oh my gosh. So they would have to separate all of us in the booth with these big, huge sound.
the big dividers. Yeah.
Yeah, just to and it wasn't for sound quality. It was just the kids will not shut up. We can't. You need all right. Everybody be quiet. That was the only way of getting us to behave. And then we'd all lean back and talk over them. So anyway.
Yeah, and then you're just shouting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so great. I remember seeing footage of all that, and I remember seeing the dividers. That's really funny. Now I know why.
Yeah.
But you've also done a decent amount of some anime stuff as well. Naruto?
Yes.
Okay, am I pronouncing these names right? How would I say the character's name? S-A-I?
Oh, Sai.
Sai.
Yeah.
And young Tobirama Senju?
Tobirama, wow. Boy.
I'm pulling them out here, man.
Wow, I don't know. Oh, boy.
Yeah, but then there was those were on Naruto.
Okay.
Did you do all that alone?
Yes.
Those are just because, and you're trying to match picture and stuff, right?
Yeah, that's all ADR. So it's the animation exists, and we just have to. That's the other thing with it's not music for me, but it's at least rhythm. I'm just used to boop 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 go. So yeah, that kind of thing.
And then Tenkai
Nights.
Tenkai Nights. I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
I'm so
sorry. What are you, not Japanese? How dare you?
Yeah, and I'm sorry to everybody that's watching going, come on, James. Really?
Naruto? It runs Naruto!
That's right.
That's how you're supposed to
should have said it like that. But Digimon Fusion.
Yes.
Shoutmon.
I was Shoutmon. Shoutmon was basically number 2 with more gravel in his voice. It's all number 2. All the voices I do are number 2.
Take that however you want.
Yeah. Wait. Dang
It's a family show. Wait a second. I forgot.
Family show.
So one of my favorites, though, that we got to work on together was Hulk and the Agents of Smash.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
You were the
Scar.
leader.
The leader, yes. I was the leader. But you were Scar.
Yeah.
Who was just kind of a big, dumb
He's a big
brute.
caveman.
Yeah.
From space.
He'd smash everything. Some of my fondest memories of that show were just all of us, Fred Tatasciore as the Hulk, Clancy Brown as Red Hulk, your Scar. We never worked with Seth Green because Seth was always too busy.
He came in one time.
But you were Seth's scratch track. You would scratch all of it because so the way it works is, for people that don't know, you have to then have those vocals recorded so they can do it, and then eventually they replace that. They call it a scratch track. So Ben would scratch all of Seth's stuff, and you actually do a pretty good Seth Green.
There's it's I think it's my curse. I'm horrible with impressions and I'm terrible with voice matching unless it's somebody who never needs one. Because Seth Green, he does his own voiceover work. So it's great. I can sound just like this dude who works. Fantastic. Yeah. So it would always be me going hey, it's me, Seth Green. It's just I'm gonna talk like this and all right.
I was like that with Shia LaBeouf. He always would come in and do stuff. I've done some of his stuff, but it was they'd go, oh, he's coming. Oh, okay, great. And Jay Baruchel, same. But here's one that that we have in common as well. Spider-Man.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've voiced Spidey on many different things, but you voiced him Lego Marvel Avengers Reassembled recently.
That was I think a movie. I believe. Yeah.
So how was it voicing Spider-Man? Because were you a comic book fan as a kid and stuff?
I was a fan of the cartoons based on the comic books.
Okay.
So it'd be for me, Spider-Man was the 90s cartoon. That was always kinda.
So.
I did read the Venom Lethal Protector series when I was a kid because I was I love Venom. And then I read it and I was like, oh, that was unfortunate. But
But you got to play him.
I got to play him though, so that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Playing Spidey is fun. For me, it wasn't a voice match, but it was a personality match for what Drake Bell was doing for Ultimate Spider-Man.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I think I played him in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2,
Yeah.
I want to say. And that was just me just talking like me.
Just you being you. Yeah, because naturally we both have these kind of friendly neighborhood Spider-Man-y kind of tones. Yours just has this wonderful crispness to it. Maybe that's what I'm looking for in that your voice cuts through so well. And it does. It has got a crisp brightness to it. And to kind of wrap up this conversation, Ben, I thought, what better way than to show everybody some of the characters you got to play on Clone Wars. And so I have some scripts that I thought I could have you read.
Oh, okay. Are they here?
They are,
they're hidden.
They're hidden.
Okay.
That's right. This is a script, and it is a scene from Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
The Two Towers. Because Morley, like I say, he has a bit of a Gollum feel.
Yeah.
And Whack 47 has a very friendly feel. And I don't know if you can recall these voices enough, but for you all now, Ben Diskin will read a scene from Lord of the Rings as Gollum and Smeagol, as Morley and Whack 47. Welcome to the conversation.
We want it. We need it. Must have the precious. They stole it from us. Sneaky little hobbitses. Wicked. Tricksy. False. No. Not Master. Yes, precious. False. They will cheat you, hurt you, lie. Master's my friend. You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you. Not listening. Not listening. You are a liar and a thief. No. Murderer. Go away. Go away? I hate you. I hate you. Where would you be without me? Gollum! Gollum! I saved us. It was me. We survived because of me. Not anymore. What did you say? Master looks after us now. We don't need you. What? Leave now and never come back. No. Leave now and never come back. We told him to go away, and away he goes, precious. Gone, gone, gone. Smeagol is free! Yay.
Awesome, man. That is so great. Yay. That is fun. The many, many voices and talents of Ben Diskin. Such a pleasure to have him here on Clone Wars Conversations. Such a pleasure to have you watching the show. I hope you would come back. I also hope you would consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, and you get to see things like this here, as well as so many other things, including my vlogs, day in the life, all the other videos that are here on the JAT channel. Please take a moment and go through the old videos and check it all out. And I hope you would come back and join me for another Clone Wars Conversations.
You, me, go!